rejuvenating soils. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, all the viewers and the participants of this lecture series from agriinformation.com. I am Dr. V.K. Jayaraghavendrao, Principal Scientist. I work at the Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, and today when I got a call, so I said, today the campaigns are all going on to how to rejuvenate soils. You recently heard Sadhguru, and many people are coming into this area, and as if it was a not known area. Actually, in fact, rejuvenating soils, it's a very old area, even right from my BSc AG days when I joined BSc AG in 1981. We've been hearing that soils are all having life. So we say, Matra Bhumi, we say Bhumi is a female, it is a mother, and so on and so forth. So many such metaphorical expressions have been given to the soils and how to rejuvenate the soils, and now many people call it as Dharti Mata, Dharti Ma. So we take care of the soils as if it's our own mother, and then how a mother's womb we all are getting nurtured and how our life processes go on and so forth. So today we'll have a small scientific part of how the rejuvenation of soils is going to help, and where we have done the mistakes, and what exactly has to be done to address this particular issue. Or is it a very new issue that great people like Sadhguru and all have come to this campaign, or a campaign itself is necessary, or science alone is very important. So even sometimes when I tell my students, you see, a science has got a human face, and a science, when it is converted to a technology and applied on the society on a larger scale, and then when you are going to make a campaign about it, you bring a lot of awareness in the society and people follow. When you say traffic awareness week, when you say AIDS awareness, when we say so many such awareness campaigns people have been doing, it's only because it is not that people know, but people should know that why a campaign has been coming. What is the urgency to do this at this stage, and who is irresponsible? So, they say that what is the difference between a knowledgeable person and a non-knowledgeable person? A non-knowledgeable person is not aware of anything, and he simply blindly does it. There is no logic, there is no rationality in his decision making, and there is no science at all. But today you see everything is based on logic and awareness. The do's and don'ts are all very, very strongly structured in the civil society. So with this as a background, very quickly I'll go. So that is the topic, and all my things have been given here for you to further communicate. Okay, so now I start this whole lecture with three paradigms: Gyan, Vigyan or Abhiyan. I keep telling in all my classes as well. So there is a knowledge, there is a science, and there should be a campaign. So you will ask me a question, sir, what is the difference between Gyan and Vigyan? See, Gyan is all the experiences accumulated over years, which also includes Vigyan. So that means a science, along with the experience, along with the utilization, when it gets converted, becomes knowledge. Okay, so knowledge is always higher, science is always lesser, and obviously you should have an Abhiyan. See, when you see, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, is it that we did not know how to clean our societies and keep our environment clean and not harbor the diseases, and the BBMP comes in a very big way, puts all the mosquito repellents and all that? Is it that we did not know? We knew it. But unless somebody pushes us, the inertia is not broken. This is where I say, inertia by definition, when you go to the Newton's first law, that F is equal to m into A. Okay, a body remains in a state of rest or in a state of action until and unless an external force is acted upon it. This is what my father taught me in this basic physics class. So therefore, nothing can work without a campaign, without an Abhiyan. The science is there, the experience is there, but people are all very, very careless. You see the entire Bangalore, wherever I go, I simply mock at them. It is a Swachh Bharat, people are throwing littering here and there, and parking my lot. The small road, both the sides they park. I don't know where we have to take our vehicles. It best is to walk or don't go outside. You order everything online and don't walk on the road. So the roads are all not meant for actually traveling. The roads are actually meant for parking. Every Tom, Dick and Harry buys a house and converts the revenue lands and he builds a house there, and there is no concept of a layout or a open space. And you can find all these fellows putting the vehicles on both sides of the road, littering, loitering everywhere. So definitely a big campaign is required at a bigger scale. Anyway, we'll do that. Now we'll come to our campaigning for the Save the Soils. So the soil health by definition is defined that, it's highly sustainable. See, why do we say, for example, why a soil is compared to a woman? See, why do we say that a woman should not have more children, or the fecundity or the frequency of having children? Earlier days, 10 children, men, 8 children. People, by bearing so many children, they die, and then many people had become malnutritious, and they have lost health. They got chronic because, they don't have the capacity. Even if they have the capacity, you should not have so many children. 1 or 2 is okay, fine. So we talk in the terms of soils, that how it sustains the plants, animals and humans, and what are the nutrient recycling. See, today, when we talk about rainwater harvesting, we we say that how our aquifers and the groundwater has to be recharged. Similarly, a soil has to be made sustainable. A garden has to be made sustainable. A field has to be made sustainable. You cannot, misuse them. See, suppose, even Sadhguru, I was listening, if your life is for 100 years, if you try to live all the 100 years in 20 years, you will die early. See, some people do all excesses, excess drinking, excess eating, excesses in marriage and excesses in having childbirth, some misusing and abusing the body. So, there is a lot of difference between misusing, abusing, and then sustaining and having a healthy life. Everything is not about, some people want to live very fast. Within 20 years, they want to enjoy everything and die. So, similarly, in a case of a soil, the filtering and buffering capacity, the physical stability and support it can give, and what sort of biodiversity it can habitat. So, that is what we say as rejuvenating soils. A soil is also a mother, a soil is a living organism, a soil is a living system, a living ecosystem. We cannot lose it and spoil it because you are urbanization, and then now everybody wants a flat and everybody wants to stay in Bangalore. That is not the issue here. We'll go ahead. So now, a soil basically has organisms, and the time is required for withering, and there's a climate on top of us, the parent material or the bedrock, whether it is it comes from the rock or it is a clay, and what is the topography, is the undulation which are required. So this is how the soil formation is influenced by about 5 interrelated factors, and you can see the topmost layer is the one which has the organic matter. Later on, when you go below 8 feet, it's all about parent rock and unweathered parent material. It's a hard stone. So these are all not so important for us, and the top first, 8 centimeters of the soil is our most fertile soil, and that is where everybody wants to build a building today. And I am not saying you don't build buildings. Please build buildings and have high-rise buildings, have flats. But when I am just talking about the soil and how to rejuvenate it. Wherever agriculture, that's why now scientists are working on hydroponics, and we don't want the soil at all. Now recently in IHR we launched this advanced center for protected cultivation using the polyols, where all the relative humidity and many of the other parameters are controlled through the IoT. So that's why people want hydroponics, cocoponics, and all soilless cultivation, because most of the soil is used either for the road or it is used for urbanization, and very less people in the rural areas and a lot of people in the urban areas, and everybody had to get Swiggy, Zomato, and they have to eat healthy food. Let them eat, no issues, they are not our botheration. So, how to protect the soil? So, we want a soil to be climate responsive rather than input responsive. Many times we say the soils, by repeated application of NPK and all those things, it is highly input responsive. But what happened in Punjab is, Punjab, Haryana and all that, by repeated use of the fertilizers, now no longer they are responsive, and they are not at all climate responsive, and then the law of diminishing returns, the S-shaped curve, which we say that the per input output is reducing. So now how to rejuvenate such dead soils? Obviously by water moisture conservation, by integrating the livestock and non-pesticidal management. So people talk about sustainable farming, natural farming, organic seed system, and some sort of an adaptive cropping system. So both the forward leakages and the support systems are required, and we should at best see that how not to abuse the soil. But here we are not going that we are against the government in terms of urbanization and all that. We are not telling about that. So now that's what Sadhguru came out with the Save Soil movement and a lot of campaigning, and thanks to him because we have the science, we have the knowledge, and but who should do the Abhiyan part, the campaigning part. So obviously since Sadhguru is a very famous person, so and the public opinion is with him and he is a crowd puller, so obviously such great personalities coming into the Save Soil campaign is a very welcome change, and save the earth and all that, and it took a lot of good movement. So now many times the soil is degraded because of industrialization of agriculture, and more people want to eat meat. Earlier people were eating meat only on Sundays, but now when the income increases, every day they wish to have meat, liquor, and they wish to have a high quality life. That's called as high quality life. But when you want to eat 1 kilo of meat, obviously you should shell down 16 kilos of grains to get 1 kilo of meat. I think these ratios you must have read here and there. And then therefore the effects of soil degradation is obviously when the soil degrades, your human health also deteriorates, organic matter has been decreased, vicious cycle of floods and drought because moisture is not conserved, and then a lot of water going away into the drain. That's why the urban flood is all there, because there are no trees to absorb those moisture, and lack of food can also cause civil strife. Okay, not only by administration like what is happening in Sri Lanka, and you also had food crisis, but thanks to the agriculture technologies, today we have 310 million tons of agri, we have about 333 million tons of horti. So be happy. So everything is not because it is coming from soil, it is coming because of the advanced technology in soilless cultivation, hydroponics, and so on. So this is where you see the left side is a highly degraded soil, the right side has a soil cover, the temperature is reduced, and obviously when the temperature increases on the left side and on the right side the temperature reduces, there is a soil cover, more organic content, moisture accumulation, okay, better even distribution of rainfall occurs. So human health also deteriorates if your soil is bad. So that is the question for famines and so on. The organic matter has decreased, and where are our friends? These earthworms are nowhere. So everywhere we want to, with the latest campaigns going on, we want to enrich our soils with earthworms, and earthworms can survive if some organic matter is there. If some waste food particles or organic content is there, it can feed and survive. If nothing is there, who will survive? So a lot of floods and droughts you're already seeing. This is a case of Mumbai where a lot of floods every year. Nowadays Bangalore also a lot of floods are occurring. Lack of food, people, when there is no food, people will migrate. It can cause civil strife. See, that's why the urban areas today what is happening in Bangalore is everybody wants to be in Bangalore, and the crimes are also increasing. There's a lot of struggle to do it. But I am not here to say why Bangalore should be developing more than the rural areas. That's not my cup of tea. But coming back to the soil, okay, soils and weakens, our bodies will weaken not just in terms of nourishment, but in a very fundamental way. So socially, culturally, morally, soils have been responsible for all this sort of overall development. So how to revitalize the soil? Obviously you have to build organic content. Nowadays we say you please put organic content, how your kitchen waste can go into composting, and BBMP has come out with the dry waste and the wet waste, and the wet waste gets recycled and then it's getting converted to a good compost. Obviously there are two methods of composting. One is the aerobic method, or we also call it the NADEP method. That's Narayan Pundre method I'll be showing you. So increase the soil. Next is the tree-based agriculture or agroforestry, for which you require land, and but how to compensate, because every in and around Bangalore or any other city, everybody wants to own a house, they want to be closer. That's again an ethical dilemma question. And then you reduce your meat consumption, and you can put the same meat masala into these vegetables. I think it should be It should look good, only the masala and the flavor, but still, if you are a hard red meat eater, not the white meat and the lean meat and whatever it is. So anyway, that's a question of your personal choice. I am not here to make you guys vegan or whatever. Then fruit diet and healthy diet for you on the planet. So building a conscious planet, you should be aware of what is happening. See, for example, like what is told in the Bhagavad Gita, if you do a bad thing, but you expect the results to be good. See, I don't think by putting a neem tree you will get a mango fruit. So you should be more conscious and aware and look at how much you can, these are all the dying soils of Anantapur. Look, how much are you going to till the land? The top, there is no top soil at all. It is already gone. So these are all soils are dying. So there is a lot of difference between dirt and soil. What is life in soil is there no life in soil? Obviously, I say that there is life in soil if it is rich in microbes, organic content, microbial activity, composting, humus and water holding capacity and the organic carbon content. So it is alive. So today, the modern agriculture, when the Green Revolution started, we started treating not the naturopathy way, but the allopathy way. Okay, you come, everything you give by external input. If fertilizer is less, give NPK. If there is no pesticide, spray pesticides. Because of this, what happened? Because of the greed of many of the companies to make profits. And today when we say prosperity, it is all about creation of wealth and having more wealth and more wealth. But actually the Human Development Index talks of 3 parameters. One is the health, the income and education. So what is that you are going to have wealth for? For whom? Without, when you don't have health, 90% fellows are all diabetic fellows. Okay? And you are all heart patients, and even if money is there, you fellows cannot eat. But everybody wants to eat very high quality meat. But what is the longevity is also become very high with the medicines. Neither they are dying, nor they are living a quality of life. So they are almost like living dead bodies. So therefore, the present soil has been misused, abused, and in the long term, how long these soils which is there in the ICU can sustain agriculture? So this is the $1 million question. So you see this particular figure, everything is given by external inputs. That's why, we have another concept called the LEIA, low external input agriculture. I don't know how you will bring it, but kindly urbanize more and enjoy your life. You will have only money, but you will have nothing to eat. You will have some bullshit to eat, but you will not have any quality food or health. So how to bring life back to the soils? So without livestock, can we not address the issue? That means, where is the organic content and dung and all that? So, but we say livestock population should be reduced. How to reduce? Because in the urban areas, you cannot put a cow, or in your flat, you cannot even put a dog. So forget the livestock. So conventional solutions are FIM, vermicompost, NADEP compost. I'll tell you this Narayan Rao Pundre method in the next slide. Industrial compost, green manure, soil conservation. But the issue is about adequacy and spread. Are we able to apply to all the lands? Where is so much dung? How many animals can you bring? What should the animal eat to produce dung? Or can you put human feces in the soil and enrich it? Whether putting human feces is safe for the soil. It is highly toxic and especially when things are not anaerobically fermented, whether the human feces or the cow dung or whatever, you cannot get a good compost. With aerobic fermentation, the toxicity in the soil increases. Okay, so that is the Narayan Deta Pandripande method. It's also called the NADEP method, and it's an aerobic fermentation going on. Look at how the pits are made layer by layer. Okay, they put cow dung and the layer of organic material, and that's how they are going to recycle this. We had a lot of training programs on this. So the 3 layers of the soil, the first is, what's the difference in the 3 layers? Like rain-fed and the few inches of soil on the top. And that few inches of top soil, just by zooming cultivation and nomadic cultivation, has already been used, misused, and deforestation. And all those things are going on. You already know that. So now, when the lot of organic matter is there, the transpiration, irrigation, rainfall, runoff, deep percolation, all these things, and the microbial activity is going to increase, and you should have a soil cover. That's how the productivity of the natural soil and the rhizosphere is going to increase. So reducing soil temperature also by the cover. But no cover, see, It's very, very impossible to do. Even in villages also, people don't have that much labor, or they're not interested to do these things. They will say that why only we should conserve everything. What are those urban fellows doing? See, each fellow buys a 85 lakhs flat, and for him everything should be neat and clean through Zomato and Swiggy, and he should get everything. But the urban area fellow cannot even earn 10,000 rupees. So there is a lot of heartburn, and that's why people are not doing for every this soil moisture conservation. Although we want to bring a people's movement, people are not interested. You do a small software Java Baba, you get about you got about 2 lakhs salary, 3 lakhs salary. I do all this organic thing and nothing comes to me. So there is a lot of divide between the rural and the urban and the agri. So anyway, we should address these things in our question answer session, or how to do it, we'll see. How to build a movement. So subsequent governments are doing that. There was a natural farming movement given by the Agri Ministry. We were all the national facilitators trained in this. So that's how the interest in this particular session has come up. So the living roots, the soil food web. See, when you know this particular food chain, that how everything gets converted back into organic matter, and then the carbon, and then finally the plants are going to use it with the photosynthesizers. So, but animals are all hopeless because they cannot have photosynthesis. There is no chlorophyll for them. So, therefore, this decomposition soil food web and the role of microbes in soil aggregation is a very important factor, and you should see that all these natural predators and parasites are available, and all the microbes are also available. So, everybody should get some sort of food. So, that is how the food chain comes. Today, what you have done is you have broken the food chain, and the predators and parasites are gone. So either you have too many snakes or too many frogs. That's how it goes. But the snake used to eat the frog. But I am not asking you to cultivate snakes. Okay, so don't take my expressions very literally and think that I am anti-urban, and everybody wants supermarket, more Swiggy and all that, Reliance Fresh. Please have it, but this is how the dynamics go in the soil food web. Role of microbes in aggregation, improving the permeability and our soil aeration. Okay, all this rivers of the water in the air. Air contains 10 times the water in the rivers. So now you need not connect all the rivers and make irrigation. If you are able to increase the organic matter and tap even the atmospheric moisture, okay, and create a micro structure in and around, a microclimatic climatosphere in and around your farms, you can have a lot of moisture and water infiltration. You don't, somebody give foolish ideas that will connect all the rivers. Why you want to die of flood, is it? So why don't you tap these, local microclimatic conditions? I told you, rivers of water in the air. Air contains 10 times more the water than the rivers. This is a fact. So you should look at intelligent way. Even in Saudi Arabia and in the desert also, they are harvesting water through a lot of new rainwater harvesting structures are there. Don't think that deserts cannot be converted. That's only your misconception. You have to apply science and have a campaign. So, okay, then structural integrity of the soil. Our soil should be as soft as bed and be able to absorb. Is it like that? Nothing doing. Nothing is there everywhere. It only cemented roads. And even the water goes in the drain, and then all drains are overfilled. So in spite of so many water harvesting structures, you could not make a good drainage. So the failure of the urban planning, I could say, I am not going into that, because you all have to stay in urban areas. Okay, so now water resistant soil aggregates, so you can put some soil amendments, improve the soil structure even through microbes. So plant converters. See, obviously, plants are the most efficient to, convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into sugars. See, that's why the whole Gayatri Japam today was Upakarma. When we chant the Gayatri mantra, it is Tatsavituhu. Okay, Vituhu. Okay, Savituhu means sun. Sun is the source of energy, and then he is the one with sunlight only. All this photosynthesis is occurring. Tatsavituhu bhargo devasya dhimahi diyo yona prachodayat. So let all my sensitivities come from this ray of sunlight, which is also the creator of food. The first glucose molecules are created by the sunlight only, combining water and carbon dioxide into sugar, C6H12 and O6. So how beautiful are all our deep-rooted cultures. So 30% of sugar stored in the roots, 40% are sugar stored in the above ground mass. So therefore, you can even harvest the roots and eat, but to harvest all this, you should have a good soil. The soil has exudates, microbial population. All these things are going to improve your soil structure. Polycrops, obviously, we have different above the ground, below the ground, and you can have this terrace, vertical farming. Even IHR has been doing that, and obviously putting some natural barriers against pests and diseases. So with dissimilar plant groups. See, today everything is a problem because it's only monoculture, paddy after paddy, cotton after cotton. So if people were allowed, they will also grow ganja also, because everything is about creation of wealth and making profits. It is called the Charvaka Mata. Yavat jivet, sukhat jivet, runam kritva, ghritam pibet. So the life is short. You just make money, have credit cards, eat and misuse all the soil and exploit everything and go away. So that is the concept of this polycrops. So the requirement is increase soil organic matter and make it like a sponge. So you should have more biomass generation through crop systems, reducing evapotranspiration, ET, when you apply the Penman formula. I happen to see Dr. Penman. He is a very great scientist of the evapotranspiration. Soil cover mulch, not exposed to direct sunlight. There should be always soil cover for 365 days. Enhance biological activity, whether you put Jivamrita, Bijamrita, or Ghana liquid, or foliar application. Okay, you should have living roots. And that's why they say zero tillage or less disturbance to soil. Every now and then you are exposing the soil. Misusing the soil. It is something like, making a woman conceive about 20 children. Even the life of a cattle is about 20 years. So in a 20 years life cycle of cattle, it can give about 10 calves, 10 to 12. But people want that all the 20 years it should conceive, and all the 20 years it should give calf, and all the 20 years they should exploit the milk. So they ingest this growth hormone into the oxytocin, growth hormone into the cattle. They want more milk. You don't get milk, gentlemen, you get only the hormone out. So therefore, if you want to misuse the thing, the issue is yours, because today sites are all very costly. You don't get a good gated community less than 1.5 crores. So the greed has come here. So now erosion to runoff also we have to reduce and put lot of reduce the velocity of the runoff with bunding and compartment bunding and so on and so forth. So look at how our soils are getting degraded. So with lack of organic matter everywhere, because anytime rain comes, it washes off all the topsoil, and ultimately the very fertile topsoil are there in the rivers. So the desilted material in the lakes and rivers are very good source for your cultivation. So you should also try with research projects how to recycle these things, which we can also discuss during this session. So some green cover, mulching, glycidia, sun hemp. Okay, it's like this, and you want to put a lot of green cover like this. So put all the leguminous green cover mulch crops, recycle it, have some cattle, produce dung. So just for producing dung, don't produce, just for having dung, you need not have cattle. Just for having cattle, you need not produce. So there should be a perfect crop livestock interaction, so by which everybody is going to be healthy and the recycling can occur. So this is how Bijamrit, Jivamrit and all are prepared with cow urine, and then using glycidia, then anola leaves, datura, neem. They use 5 leaves. I'll tell you later. So how the cow dung are made into balls and try to conserve. This is how the Jivamrit making machine. So it is fermented for 40 days, filtered, and then that is given as a soil spray or application. So people use it. So Drava Jivamritam, Deshi cow dung 10 kg, cow urine 5 liter, jaggery 1 kg, pulse flour 1 kg, mould cloth 250 gram. So this is an experiment done in Anantapur district, and because Anantapur district is all the soils have been eroded, gone case. So they are trying these experiments there, and how to filter them and give a good spray. Look at how even cow dung also you should filter, ferment. Without fermentation, you will be causing more harm to the soil than actually gaining. So let us sum up quickly, gentlemen. Improving soils is compost application. If you still think like that, you are wrong. Improving soils is increasing livestock and making gobar available. Again, you are wrong. So the perspective is to have a soil cover for 365 days, have polycrops, above ground, below ground diversity, using biostimulants, and do not allow the soil to run off, soil aggregation and aeration to enhance biological activity. So this is the regeneration agriculture, given some issues which we have already discussed. Thank you very much. That ends here, and the session is now open for discussion.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed presentation. I'll now take up some questions. Okay. So the first question is, most farmers in India will not know anything about soil testing. Do you see this a big stumbling block?
No, soil testing, when we come out with the soil health card or plant health card in case of horticulture, see, it will only know the status of the soil. See, when you go to a doctor, okay, they will only tell whether you are diabetic or a BP person and what sort of tablets you have to take. But the organic method or whatever I am saying, how to rejuvenate the soils, this is a different, it requires a mass movement. See, now, when the land is so scarce and when heavy urbanization is taking place, see, don't think land is a very super value only in cities. Even in the villages also, a 30-40 site in a village also will cost you not less than 15 lakhs. So, now, to have a lot of this Jivamritam, this is all high labor intensive things. The science is okay, but the opportunity cost of labor is very high. So once when people suffer and say that everybody has to do it, only in a government sponsored initiative, a campaign can help in doing all this.
Okay. And next question, what are some simple methods a farmer can adopt to improve the soil health?
See, the simple methods are, one is I told you, this making a soil live is not just about putting some cow dung and all that. See, composting, collection of green material, recycling, and even suppose he has Kharif and Rabi as a main crop. Summer he cannot keep it fallow and expose the sunlight. Expose the soil to sunlight. On minimum he can put some glycine or some green cover always there. So that helps improve, and obviously some sort of soil and water conservation methods like compartment bunding in the black soil and then putting a bund across and reducing the runoff. And actually by putting Jivamritam and Bijamritam and these sort of things, you will improve the soil flora and fauna. The microbial population is going to increase. That's how we have to do it. He has to be more aware. But today people are averse for awareness, which is going to increase his drudgery. They want easy mobile phone tapping sort of work. Such works are not available in some of these things. It requires hard labor.
Okay. Next question, in which parts of India is soil health the most deteriorated?
See, the soil health wherever, for example, Rajasthan has already deteriorated. Okay, then in and around Bangalore, the things are all gone. Although, especially Karnataka and in and around Bangalore, this was not at all suited for urbanization because we are 3,000 feet above the sea level. It's a very conducive environment. But the Britishers wanted to stay here, and everybody now wants to stay in Bangalore. So that is how it is there. And therefore, you should have probably used a smaller area or an area which is not so high above the mean sea level for urbanization. See, for example, Texas is a very rocky area in US. So that is where they build cities. For example, there is an area called San Andreas in the United States, which is a highly ecologically sensitive zone prone to floods. So there was a movie also called as San Andreas where, that Hoover Dam is also there. So such ecological zones you should not plan. But I am not here to say why the planning has occurred in these regions. So that is how it goes, madam. See, at the time of urban planning, See, for example, you plan a good city in a very dry area like Anantapur. See, luckily that Kia factory has come, that car factory has come. When I travel to Hyderabad, after Penukonda is over, before Anantapur, it's all rocky and dry. You plan urbanization and industries there. Why do you want to put it in fertile soil? Same problem with Vijayawada and Andhra Pradesh. Oh my God, they are all paddy belts of India. That is the paddy basket of India. Unfortunately, you want your Amaravati to come there. Whether it is Amaravati or Vrishabhavati, I think some of these planning procedures are wrong, but I don't want to go into the political part of it.
Okay. And next question, why is soil management so important?
Soil management is important because after some years, even if you put more inputs, nothing is going to come. It is like a young lady who will conceive. We say that ladies should give birth to a child before 30 years. See, after that, the childbearing capacity, fertility, and so many other response to inputs and response to child care, many of these things will deteriorate. So, therefore, the soil is also like a woman, we have already told. It has to be managed and nurtured. If you misuse it, it will not produce results. Because soil as such may not be a complete organic system like a human being with the interconnected dots, but definitely it needs to be managed like that.
Okay. Next, we have a question from Mr. Siddhappa. He is asking, do you advise us to use herbicides?
Herbicides, see, by definition, the herbicides, again you have a monocot herbicide, you have a dicot herbicide, you have the 2,4-D and all that. Herbicides can be more safer as compared to any other thing. But we should have two things have to be taken when herbicides are to be sprayed: the residual effect and how long it's going to, whether they are biodegraded. See, instead of herbicide, what I recommend is the biopesticides and bioherbicides. See, for example, today a lot of products are coming with, especially marigold and, biological NPV, nuclear polyhedron virus for control of nematodes. And so many such bio products are available, and the research is also on, and commercially also it's available. So, in that way, we don't say that you don't spray herbicide, but try to prefer a natural herbicide. You can combine some yogurt, or you can combine some buttermilk with kerosene, and many such formulations have been come. Even this Jivamrutam is one such thing. When you simply spray this Jivamrutam, I have seen it acts as an excellent herbicide. Some formulations are there.
Okay. I think you already answered this many times. What are the main reasons for poor soil health?
No, what is it? Can you make it louder?
Yeah, one second. What are the main reasons for poor soil health?
See, the main reasons for poor soil health are, one is it involves a lot of labor. I am only talking about the rural areas. I am not talking with my urban people, that too the Bangalore and other area people who are all highly, they are born with a silver spoon and eating with a golden plate and have a diamond crown on their heads. They are all software people and higher, they bring GDP to the country. I am not a person to scold these very big shots because they bring a lot of money to India. Now, in the rural areas, now the soil conservation and the organic cultivation has to be done by an individual farmer. So there is no such government support or a campaign where, just like when we made Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which was become a campaign of the government of India. So such sort of awareness and public support, NGO support, and a lot of bringing even foreign funds. So if these things are brought, people will get interested because everybody has to be paid for their labor, at least minimum 300 rupees or 400 rupees for a man and 250 rupees for a woman. If you pay the labor, they will also be engaged, the employment is generated, they will collect organic content, and that should be made as a campaign. It cannot be an individual effort. See, suppose if I say that individually I am cleaning my house, putting all the dirt outside on the street. So that doesn't work. A BBMP should come, it should have a wet waste and a dry waste with the blue and the green, and it should kick the fellows and fine them. Then only the mass movement. Today everybody is aware about the wet waste and the dry waste. So until it comes as a government campaign with a fund and an institution behind, individual efforts is not going to work. Thank you.
Okay. And next question, how can we motivate farmers to go for natural farming?
No, we have already motivated the farmer. You should motivate them like our software engineers. If you create a high value of 3.5 lakh rupees job with Java, Bava, okay, then MySQL, cloud computing, AWS, Amazon Web Services, people will do it. There is no money in these rural areas. In Telugu there is a saying, I think Telugu people will understand. Kshanam tirika ledu, dammudi adayam ledu. So we are always busy. Why should we work like a donkey? I will also learn AWS, Amazon Web Services. I will be employed in Sarjapura Road. I also want 3.5 lakh rupees. Can you pay me 3.5 lakh? I will do organic farming. You give me my money. I need money. I am a farmer. Don't make me always poor and wash your shit there. Okay. If you give me a business hybrid model and make me also earn some money, I will also do it. But see, everything is not charity today. In urban areas, when you pay even for parking, okay, even for your flats you pay. So why should the rural area fellow do it at a peanut cost?
Okay. And next question, can zero budget natural farming benefit farmers?
Yeah, can zero budget farming, what happens?
Can zero budget natural farming benefit the farmers?
No, see, now you don't quote my name because I am already employed in ICR and I may lose my job. I am only telling you as a personal opinion as an experienced scientist. I hope you will not quote my name. See, I am, in my opinion, zero-based natural farming. If all our 3,80,000 villagers adopt it, they will go to dogs. They will become pauper. So only it is because of technology and other things we are doing. And everywhere there is a government funding campaign. And that's how we are able to get 315 million tons and 333 million tons in horticulture. But still the farmers are unable to get remuneration. Please understand this. This is the parody of agriculture. In many of my lecture series, I have also told this. Today, Indian farming is highly productive. Okay, it has a lot of production, but there is no income distribution. So people are not interested. Given a chance, everybody would like to learn Amazon Web Services and cloud computing and have a 1.13 crore flat or a gated community in Sarjapura. Please understand. Even the rural area fellows are intelligent. Don't think that only urban area fellows will pass. They can also take IIT exam and pass. But if you give money and have a business model for remuneration, it will be there. Otherwise, zero-based natural farming is highly labor intensive. Opportunity costs are zero or negative. You don't get that much remuneration as you get. So today, everybody's attitude has changed. With least effort, I should get more money. Therefore, nobody should do this. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sir. I'm not finding any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to thank Dr. V.K. J. Raghavendra Rao for a detailed presentation.
Yeah, lastly, I want to make a statement. Sir. Lastly, in most of my lectures you have been seeing. So this is actually a management solution for soil health or organic farming or natural farming or making things. See, when Sadhguru came into this picture in a campaign, it picked up momentum. If a politician comes, it picks up momentum. Tomorrow, if Wipro or TCS or Mindtree comes with a business model, okay, for the CSR, it picks up momentum. So therefore, this is the urban-rural divide. So we request all this, the so-called urban technocrats who are making millions of dollars, to come out with rejuvenating the earth in a Save Earth campaign. Even in Tennessee also, when Sadhguru went, he went on his motorbike, and my brother-in-law stays in US. Lot of campaign. People are very convinced with things in Tennessee and in the entire US. People are ready to give money also. But only thing is the will is missing. So kindly I request, as a part of my lecture, that if the haves and the have-nots create an awareness through some small business models, so that they are not asking big money. A labor has to be paid about 350 rupees per day. A woman labor 250 rupees per day. They will also be engaged, and we can take all this organic science and agriculture in a very logical way, and but we should have a business model. Nothing is going to be done free of cost. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I think I'm sure our participants will react to this and act on this. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to thank Dr. J. Raghavendra Rao for the detailed presentation and answering all the questions. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I will leave the meeting. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.